back, and we 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 and we back, and we back.
Our last segment of the day. So now that the NFL schedule has been released, we just want to go off and say, like, who y'all think will be the division winners? So for this topic, right, I had thought about this, and I know each of you guys' favorite teams. We got Brian, he likes the New York Jets. T is a converted Patriots fan, and now a Buccaneers fan. So I didn't want him to do that division or those teams. We have Danny, who's the average Colts, Bolts, whatever their name is. They don't really care, matter in NFL. They're not really a team. And then you got Lee, who's the Eagles fan. So I didn't want none of you guys to do your exact teams or your exact conferences because I feel like it's going to be a biased opinion. But I did want you guys to hear the opinions of other people through your divisions. And it would bring up a better topic and bring up a better all-around conversation starter for all of us. So for this, for all you guys at home, I had Danny do the AFC East and the NFC East. I had Lee do the AFC South and the NFC South. I had Terrence do the AFC North and the NFC South, and I had Brian to do the AFC West and the NFC West. So we're going to start this one off with my man Lee Dex. We're going to start it off with you, buddy. And I want to hear your topics on who you think would be the division winners for the AFC South and the NFC South.
For me, I got to go with, the AFC South is kind of easy. It's Tennessee Titans. It's the Tennessee Titans, man.
I was hoping that you say that.
It's the Tennessee Titans to win the division. I believe, like I said, that the Indianapolis Colts will get the wild card, but I think that the Titans are a force. Even if they have a bad start, I think they can get right back on track. They have, like I said, obviously we still got the concern of they need to pay Derrick Henry, and they still have until July, but they need to get that contract done. I believe he is the offense. Wherever he goes, they go. They paid Ryan Tannehill. They need to pay Derrick Henry. But you have a complete offense and a formidable defense. And
a defensive-minded coach.
Exactly. And I think that with that being said, I think they can get it done. Their division isn't as strong as it used to be because they let go, because Bill O'Brien is just in his feelings, I guess, and let go of his whole team for sandwiches. He changes it up. And then you got the for the NFC, I believe that it's going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it's going to be a tough one. I don't think they just go over there and get 13 wins and 3 losses. I think they're going to have to fight for it. I think it's going to be like 9-6 will get you in, I think, because it's going to be a tough year this year with Tom Brady going over there and winning it. I think the Saints have won it the past 4 years or so.
Yeah.
And I think
not their year. Falcons went to the Super Bowl.
So it's about 3 or 4 years they've been in the division.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that the Saints just haven't got the job done. Unfortunately, they just haven't got it done when they got the division. They've never won the Super Bowl after winning the division, or just at least for the last 3 years they haven't. So I just think that they need to. I think it's just a change, because they've been it so many times that, unfortunately, when you get it so many times, something unfortunately happens. And I think that with that happening and Tom Brady coming in, I think that all the new pieces that they have, and I don't think they'll stop getting new pieces. They may possibly get another piece. We never know. But I think that they just have the depth to make a good run with the tight ends that they have. I think they'll get I think that, the players that we're not even talking about, the teams, going to step up. Maybe Humphreys, guys that are in the slot that are playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to step up and have great years because of the attention that's going to be put on Godwin and Evans. The tight ends, you got 3 6'4", 6'5" guys, one being one of the elite tight ends of all time, and Gronkowski on that team. So I just think that once they get going, I think they'll be a hard team to stop. And they have a little bit of a stretch where they got to play some tough teams. They got to go and play Falcons and Carolina, I think, right to, I think, right in the 7-game stretch or 7-week stretch of the last back part of their season. So they got some tough games. They've split with most teams. The only team they didn't split with was the Saints. They lost twice to them, and they almost came and won that game. They lost by 8 points to them. So I think they get that cleaned up with Tom Brady. He doesn't give up the ball as much as he doesn't give up the ball like Jameis Winston. And this is the thing. We got to remember, the statistics are 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, not 30 and 30 for Jameis Winston. So he had more touchdowns than he had interceptions, just to put that out there. But he did have 30 interceptions, no doubt about it. But
that make it better?
I'm just saying, we're going to be right about it. But the fact of the matter is, I think Tom Brady takes care of the ball, and that saves them a lot of games, and they win a lot of games because of it. And I think that's the 2 division leaders.
So we're dealing with the AFC South. You have the Tennessee Titans on record, and we're going with the NFC South. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm surprised you didn't say the Colts, who just got moved over.
I never said it was going to be division leaders. I always said wild card.
You did say that. That's okay.
I'm surprised you said that when this guy lost 6 games or more by 4 less points. Like, he's going to take that over to the Colts and maybe Frank Reich can get him right. You know, he's a quarterback whisperer now.
Frank Reich, get him right.
Yeah, you know. So we're going to go with Dan. You're doing the AFC East and the NFC East. I want to hear your topics on who you think your division leaders will be.
So, Lee, I was going to look out. Bro. Because I was waiting for you to say Colts. But I'm going to still stick with the team I got. And both of y'all are going to love it. And it's the Eagles. Now, I remember 2 weeks ago in the draft, I was sitting there pondering, like, why in the world did they get Jalen Hurts? Why would they waste a pick on him? Why didn't they invest in another wide receiver? Or why did they invest in the receiver that they did? But honestly, now that I think about it, it makes sense. Now, here's why. So, first off, the Philadelphia Eagles were number 10 on defense with 382 total yards per game against them. That's 10th. Now, mind you, they had people like Jalen Mills back there. They had people like Sidney Jones back there, Ronald Darby back there. They had a lot of backups that were playing, a lot of injuries. You had LeBlanc back there. Just inexperienced players or players who aren't living up to that caliber, and yet they still managed to be on be top 10 defenses in the league. So that's something very important to point out. Not to mention their addition of Darius Slay. I think that's really going to help them. Being that he's a zone corner, I'm really interested in what they're going to do defensively for him, being that Jim Schwartz is known for all-out blitzes. And when you do an all-out blitz, it's most likely going to be man coverage on the outside. So I'm a little, you know, because I'm concerned, but I'm not really, because Darius Slay can lock up a number 1 wide receiver, and I think that's what really the Eagles needed. Also, I think what's a good thing to point out is that you have Jalen Smith moving to. I said Jalen Smith. I'm sorry, Jalen Mills moving. I don't know why I said Jalen Smith. But Jalen Mills moving over to safety, and I think that's really going to be good.
You mentioned Mills?
He mentioned Mills.
I did.
Bro.
I think he's going to be good.
Mention Mills, cuz.
Yes, and the reason why I say that is because
how did he end up on the show?
Hear me out. The reason why I have him, I'm mentioning him, is that I think he will do well in the scheme of replacing Malcolm Jenkins. Now, for those who don't know, Malcolm Jenkins is what we call a hybrid in football. He can play any position. He can play a corner. He can play safety. He's often in the box, like a linebacker. He's what you call. He could be a nickelback. But in all of football, we just want to call him. He's the hybrid. Now, I believe Jalen Mills can do that because Jalen Mills can tackle. I believe he can fill that role, not as to the highest level of Malcolm Jenkins, but I feel like he can fill that role. And not to mention, Darius Slay hasn't played with a formidable D-line in a while. And now he has a front 7 who I believe can take care of business, especially with when you got Fletcher Cox, you got Brandon Graham, you got Barnett, who, you know, sometimes goes missing, but I think he'll do well. You got a formidable D-line that you know that can get to the quarterback, so you don't have to play coverage for so long. That's just the defense. Now the offense, again, you got Wentz. Now, Wentz has had problems with staying healthy. He has no problem staying healthy. None at all. But you also got Ertz. Now, Zach Ertz was their leading receiver at tight end. And, oh, wow. My battery's dying. But Zach Ertz was their leading receiver at tight end. You also got a pickup in Marquise Goodwin. They just got via the offseason. And Jalen Reagor. So you got two speedy receivers who they can run quick screens, bubble screens out of. They can put them in jet sweeps and all that. Not to mention you have Miles Sanders, who became the number one back, even though they had Jordan Howard last year. We are. We are. And Miles Sanders, I like Miles Sanders because you can line him up on the outside too. You can line him up on the outside. You can line him up in the slot. He has great hands. Sometimes he can fumble the ball. He had a fumbling issue last year, but I think he'll work at it and be better. And not to mention, again, Jalen Hurts. Now, the reason why I mentioned Jalen Hurts is because Jalen Hurts is definitely good in that Wildcat situation. You can put him in a Wildcat situation. You can run the Philly special with him. He's such a good athlete that sometimes you forget that he's a quarterback. He can run the ball like a running back. So I'm just going to end that there with the NFC East. That's what I got. And for the AFC East, I got the New England Patriots. And the reason why wait a minute. Brady's not there. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills got Josh Allen. Josh Allen was someone who people compared to Cam Newton. They compared him to Cam Newton because of his running ability. However, they said that he wasn't really accurate. And there are some games where he's not accurate. But however, his rookie year, he had 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. That's not so great to, say that, he's a good quarterback. But last year, he threw 20 touchdowns and only 9 interceptions. And he also had his number one receiver in John Brown. Yes, John Brown. And his second receiver was Cole Beasley. They both had 6 touchdowns. John Brown had 1,000 yards. Cole Beasley had like 700 yards. That's before Stephon Diggs came in here. Now you add in Stephon Diggs to that matchup. You got someone that's going to open that offense to its complete entirety. You got someone who can not only run deep routes, he can run short routes. He's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to take those big hits. He's not afraid to go around the middle. You got someone that you can line up not only in the outside but in the inside. Cole Beasley's not really an outside receiver, but with Stephon Diggs, you can line him up anywhere. And that's going to open your offense up even more. It's going to help Josh Allen out. Not to mention their defense. Their defense was ranked, I believe, their rush defense was ranked 11th in the league. Their rush defense was ranked 11th in the league, and their passing defense was ranked number 4 in the league. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm fine with my rushing defense being number 11, for my pass defense being in 4th, being that this lead that we're watching right now is more of a passing league. So with that being said, I think Josh Allen got a complete team around him. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be a team that's going to be not to mess with in that AFC West. Sorry about that. I'm going to say East. Sorry about that. The AFC East, and I just feel that, there's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Josh
Sam
Allen,
Darnold.
and he plays for the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. I'm glad you got that there, Dan. So your team in the NFC East was the Eagles. I'm proud of you for not going to CD Lamb hype.
I was so close.
I'm very proud of you. Don't make me upset.
They disrespect me, man. They look so good during the regular season, and then when December hits, it's literally Christmas in reverse for them. They get cold. Yeah. They don't get.
You mean they're allergic to prosperity?
With the Buffalo Bills, you gotta mention they got some good defensive hitters back there, and they got a running back game that get going.
Yes, they do. I didn't even mention him.
I know Brian's waiting to say something about that because Brian's our Jets fan. You got anything to say, Brian?
It's hard to argue with them. That is a solid team they got there. I think we're just gonna have to see what Josh Allen is gonna do this year. It's another prove-it year for him. Last year he proved he can improve. Now with some added talent around him,
see what
he continues to take the steps in the next in the right direction. Now, I will argue that my Jets haven't gotten their fair, their fair say in that division the past couple of years with Sam Darnold. I don't think he has the respect he deserves yet. That's also to do with the fact that this past season he hasn't played much.
You gotta stop kissing girls during the regular season. That's it.
Well, you can only get mono once, they say. So let's see. All is clear this year.
Seeing ghosts.
You missed half of the season for mono. That's a lot of money down the
I
drain.
will say the young guy, he is younger than Lamar Jackson, Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, all these top young quarterbacks in the league. He's younger than all of them. Joe Burrow, the guy, the number 1 pick this past year, LSU's greatest, maybe the greatest led season in college football of all time. He's younger than Joe Burrow, this past year's number 1 overall pick. He's a young guy, and I think he's still got a lot of time to grow. And this season, I believe he's going to do that. I think they still don't have that great of weapons around him yet. I mean, they got Le'Veon. They did bolster that offensive line. Finally, we'll see if that O-line can protect them for once. After 2 years, I believe, of ranking near last in the league in protection, giving up, most sacks. I think keeping him on his feet, getting that running game going, it'll give him time to really pick apart these defenses like he has done at times in his career so far. I just don't know if the team overall has the talent yet.
Wait, who's going to pick apart the defenses?
Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold can.
The guy that's seeing ghosts.
That was one game. We don't need to talk about it.
Okay.
I think
we're going to move along.
This is a guy, Sam Darnold, who in the last 4 or 5 games in this past 2 years, he's finished strong. If you look at his stats in the last 4 or 5 games of the season, he is a beast. He ranks among the top 10 quarterbacks in the league in the last 4 or 5 games of the season. His numbers do prove that. With no number 1 receiver.
That's facts.
No offensive line. I mean,
facts.
who is his number 1 receiver?
Roby Anderson.
Don't mention that. He's a Panther now, so.
I'm saying that was his number 1 receiver.
What tight end did he have? We don't even know. I'm a Jets fan. I couldn't tell you. And his running game, he had Le'Veon, but Le'Veon couldn't do much with nothing around him.
Left people in the box. He could.
Yeah. So we'll see. This year is going to be different. I'm going to tell you. And that defense is underrated, in my opinion. We got Jamal Adams, who's the best safety in the league, leading that defense. We got C.J. Mosley, who's actually going to be healthy this year. That defense is going to be tough. And we'll see week 1 when they upset the Buffalo Bills. Week 1. They're going to set the tempo for the rest of the AFC East season.
Hey, Brian,
I hope you're right.
I was with you until you said that last sentence.
Listen,
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this. If the Buffalo Bills literally destroy the Jets, you're gonna see. I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna edit that part where you said my Jets is gonna beat the Buffalo Bills, and you're gonna hear that little Italian song, the do 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 do. You're gonna see a clown.
Look, I'm very confident in my team. It's been a while since you could be confident in them. I think it's a year to prove it. Okay. I think it's a year. I think it's a year ahead of schedule for them to be the division winners, but I think they're going to compete this year. I think I have them buffering around that 8 or 9 wins total. Okay.
Okay.
We'll see.
Hey, T. So how are we looking at the NFC North and the AFC North this year, man?
Let's start with the AFC North and get it out the way. Baltimore Ravens. The Lamar Jackson show.
No comparison. Nobody else coming close.
Just not even a conversation. They should already crown. They should just wait for the playoffs now. So AFC North, I got the Baltimore Ravens coming out of the AFC North. I feel like teams are at least 10 years away. Like they're not touching Ravens anytime soon.
10 years?
Wow, that's a decade.
All right, so what about the NFC?
NFC North. Y'all might not like this, but I got the Detroit Lions winning the NFC North.
That's big.
Bold.
I like Matt Stafford. I feel like Matt Stafford, if he wasn't getting hurt every year, they would be competing for a playoff spot. And I feel like this year.
I feel like he sucks.
I feel like he's better than Matt Ryan.
He's better than Matt Ryan?
Yes.
Matt Ryan got to the Super Bowl.
I hate
Matthew
when y'all
Stafford
do
had
that.
to the
Matt
playoffs.
Ryan has
Y'all
Matt
talk
Ryan has
about
Julio
people
Jones.
that never won nothing. He didn't
What
win
has Matthew
nothing.
Stafford? Matthew Stafford
You
had
just
to
mentioned
team to the
Matty
playoffs.
Ice. I don't even know how he has a nickname. He shouldn't even have a nickname.
It's
He
Matty
had to
Ice.
take the team
Ice
to the
cold.
playoffs.
Matty Ice
Yeah.
cold. Because he goes cold in every big moment.
Matty Ice because he freezes under pressure.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're
I like
going
Matt
with
The Detroit Lions.
the Detroit
The
Lions.
Detroit Lions. Or
and
I
Baltimore.
want to say 1A and 1B, Detroit Lions and the Vikings. I'll put the Vikings at 1B because
So how much of a drop off is the Green Bay Packers going to have?
the Packers are going to be top, like up there, but I feel like the Vikings. Only reason I don't say the Vikings number one because of Kirk Cousins. I don't trust and believe in Kirk Cousins. I feel like if you give any other starting quarterback that defense, they'll be competing for a Super Bowl.
So where do the Packers finish?
Third.
This guy's a clown.
Third.
That's crazy.
You know
With
why?
that, you're talking about the team, the bad man.
Oh, he gonna be bad.
6-8 this year. No, 6-8, and I mean in the sense of him getting his 8th playoff loss.
So if he finishes
If he
third,
makes the
how's he
playoffs.
going to get a playoff loss?
So it's 17 games this year. Packers are
16.
going
It's 16.
16,
It's
7-9,
16.
No, it's 16. It's 16.
7-9.
Oh, they changed it back?
No, it's 2021.
It's going to be the
2021. So 7-9 this year. I don't see them eclipsing now 8 or 9 wins.
All right. So just a recap here. We got Lee. He went with.
Oh, I went with the Titans and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
We got Dan. You went with the.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Say it loud, Dan.
Ah, damn, we can't hear you, bro.
I can't hear you.
The Eagles. The Pigeons. And
There's no team called the Pigeons.
The Jets.
And we gonna need you to say it with some confidence.
And I went with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, T. You went with.
The Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions.
All right. So our guest, last but not least, is Brian. So Brian, we're going to do the AFC West and the NFC West. We're going to go with the AFC first. Who you got?
You picking the Jets?
The Jets doesn't play in the AFC West.
No,
AFC West.
The Jets.
AFC West, we're going to pick the... What is it? The Los Angeles? No. The Oakland? No, they're Las Vegas. We're not going to pick them, though, because, you know. How about Denver? Drew Lock, not a lock for the playoffs. We're going to go business as usual. Kansas City Chiefs, easy. I would say they're going to be a 1 seed again. They're going to be a 1 seed for the playoffs this year. I think they got a pretty decent schedule ahead of them this year, but I think that they're going to steamroll with the 13-3 record. With their 3 losses, I'm going to say it now, it's going to be at Baltimore, at New Orleans, and at Tampa. He plays New Orleans and Tampa late in the season. I think New Orleans is going to be hot, and they're going to beat them at home. And I think Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's going to finally, he's going to have time to get together because I think they play like week 11 or something. I think he'll have time to get that team rolling, and they'll win that game too. Baltimore, they play Baltimore week 3. I think that's going to be a good contest, but I think Baltimore is going to pull that one out. Now over to the NFC. Again, business as usual. San Francisco is going to do what they did last year. They had some losses this year, or some losses of players this offseason, but they replaced those guys. They got Trent Williams in a trade at the draft after Joe Staley retired, and they drafted a couple guys to replace the receiver they lost. And I think they also lost they lost the defensive end. They traded him to the Colts, DeForest Buckner, and they replaced him in the draft as well. I don't think they lost much with losing those guys because I think they replaced them pretty well, in my opinion, with the guys they brought in. I think it is tough to lose Buckner, but I think they'll replace him pretty well with the guy they got. My big surprise, I'll say, is I got the Cardinals, though. I think they're gonna be very close to reaching that playoff level, but I don't think they got it this year. I think they just need another year of growth, so it'll be next year. But I think they're going to get about 8 wins this year. With that, DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald in his last year, and might be his last year. And I think Kyler's, I think he's the guy to lead that team. But I don't think they're going to get it just yet.
So where are the Seahawks at?
I got the Seahawks finishing just above them. I think the Seahawks are going to fall back a little bit from where they were last year. I think they're going to be 9-7. I just think that team, they still have a questionable O-line. I think losing, if they lose Clowney, it's going to take a toll on their defensive line. I think their secondary is still kind of trying to figure out where they are after the Legion of Boom is pretty much, washed out. And I just think they're an interesting team. Again, as long as you got Russell Wilson behind center, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I think you're looking at being a playoff contender. But we'll see what that team kind of brings them if they can get in the playoffs. And the Rams, I got them falling off way down. I think they're going to get 4 or 5 wins this year. I think they've lost a lot after they kind of went all in for that Super Bowl run, and they haven't had a first-round draft pick since 2016. And I think that takes a toll on their depth. They don't have much, star power all around the team anymore. And I think we're going to see them kind of go back into that rebuild mode. But yeah, I got Chiefs and 40. Like we saw last year.
And that's funny how you say Chiefs and 49ers, and that's actually crazy. I wanted to point that out. How the AFC West and the NFC West both represented the Super Bowl last year. Maybe we might see the same thing this year with the Chiefs and 49ers again. Maybe a repeat of Super Bowl. Hopefully not, because I want my Eagles to go.
Forget though that the Cardinals beat Seattle twice last year.
Yeah, they did. Beat them twice. So I believe the Cardinals gonna make a leap. I do believe they're a couple players away, but I still do believe they're gonna make a leap.
I think it's business as usual though.
Yeah. So that concludes this podcast. Just want to give a special thanks for Brian for coming along and joining us this week.
Thanks for having me.
Special, you know what I'm saying?
It's been a pleasure. It's been a great time.
Thanks. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, T. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, everybody at home watching with us.
Thank you to all the mothers out there.
For next week,
happy
go watch
Big
Michael
facts.
Jordan documentary, Last Stand, as we come up on the final episodes of this. And
thank you to all the mothers out there.
Thanks for all the mothers.
I just want to point out, if you're trying to find it on YouTube, it's called The Last Dance, not The Last Stand. You might get something else you're not looking for.
Shout out all the mothers. Shout out. You are. All right. Y'all have a good night, guys.
All right, yeah.
From all of the money we counting, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it. Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Can't take it when you die. Uno, dos.
Will I fall? Will I fly? Heal my soul, fulfill my high, cross my heart and hope to die with my slice of devil's pie.